Hi guys, my name's Adolfo,
I'm Grace.
I'm Jaden.
And I'm Maddie.
and we have Chinatown, Chicago. So Chinatown, where is your neighborhood located? So our neighborhood is Chicago Chinatown. It's by Wentworth Avenue and Cermak Road, so it's on the south side. When it comes to the people that live in the neighborhood, in one of the articles it said that it was around 13,900 people in Chinatown, but approximately 32,000 people around it. So it's not just in Chinatown. As the population on the rise or decline from some articles or two of the articles that I read, it was more of like they stayed a little bit healthy for a couple of years. There's like different points in time where they did increase and then somewhat decrease, but that's for another slide down the road. What are the demographics of the neighborhood? From 2010 to 2020, there was a 31% increase in population. Um, it kind of ties to the other question in the previous slide. It did increase a bit for some people to come into Chinatown and live in that area or even in the neighborhoods around it. What is the neighborhood's median income? When it comes to the income, it's around 65,489 in one of the articles that I was reading. So it's an interesting it's pretty interesting when it comes to that's the median income when you're living there. What are some of the famous landmarks in the neighborhood? Some of the four famous landmarks that I kind of grabbed was the Chinatown Gate. That was in my first slide. The Poitak Center, you see that in the bottom right. Chinatown Square, you see that on the top right of the slide, and then you have the Nine Dragon Wall on the bottom left of the slide.
Modern Chinatown in Chicago was formed in 1912. This is the Chinatown was in the same spot that we all know today. In about 1869, there was a bunch of Chinese immigrants that started to come towards Chicago, and from there they decided to have Chinatown be in Clark Street. And the reason why they moved was, well, that's all right. And then from 1869 to 1912, we would have something called the Tong Wars, where across multiple Chinatowns in many different states, there would be periods of violence across many different Chinese people and whatnot. So in 1912, most of these Chinese immigrants decided to move away from Clark Street to where we have modern Chinatown today. The reason why wasn't just because of the Tong Wars, but also because of the fact that there was a rise of rent happening within Old Chinatown, and at the same time, there was a lot of discrimination between the Chinese as well. After World War II, some of the discrimination between Chinese immigrants started to die down a bit more, and as more Chinese Americans decided to get more education, they started to move away from Chinatown and to the more suburbs area. This would help. Well, this would actually lead to more older associations in Chinatown, starting to have some tension rise between educated Chinese Americans. So, as an act of good faith in 1975, the Chinatown Gateway was constructed as a symbol of more unity to appear. Some of the industries businesses in Chinatown were the Hip Sing Tong, or the HSA. This was a criminal organization that was involved in gambling and extortion. They were also part of big reasons why the Tong Wars were happening in the first place, as they would be the ones causing violence. And the HSA in Chicago specifically, they were kind of quieted down a bit more as Chicago managed to send in some early warnings before too many violence came in. Then we have the On Leon Merchants Association. These were businesses within Chinatown that provided financial support, helped manage businesses, and a hub for Chinese immigrants. This was also the same association back in 1912 that helped lead Chinese immigrants to modern day Chinatown. How has Chinatown changed over time? Chinatown in the beginning was a start for Chinese immigrants to head to America, and it has been healthily growing today with a 32% Asian population.
Okay, so some challenges facing Chinatown. The biggest challenge that Chinatown has probably had to face is the COVID-19 pandemic. This is where kind of all of the challenges that they have present day kind of started. So, the rising costs, residents and business owners are grappling with increasing rents and property taxes, making it difficult for some to stay in the neighborhood. This isn't just for Chinatown itself, it's pretty much for all of the United States right now with rising taxes and everything. The pandemic impact, like I said before, the COVID-19 outbreak significantly impacted Chinatown's businesses. This led to revenue loss and lots of business closures. This is especially true for small family-run businesses. Due to the loss of money, staff were not able to be paid, so many lost staff, and then this led to closures because there was these small businesses that couldn't keep up with big-name companies such as like Amazon and then like bigger-name restaurants. Affordability. The rent in Chinatown has been rising, making affordability an issue for some residents, and the wait time for public housing in Chinatown is over 25 years, which is insane. Sometimes people can get housing, it's just too expensive for them to live in Chinatown. This was also a huge part of the COVID-19 pandemic. Probably one of the, I want to say this is probably the saddest challenge that's facing Chinatown is the lack of political representation. Decades of exclusion and lack of political representation have led to Chinatown being overlooked by policymakers and a social welfare program. The population in Chinatown is so small that nobody was fighting for their needs, and the people didn't want to speak up for their rights out of fear. There's a quote from one of the articles that I have, and it says, "People see representation and visibility as hope." Chan McKibben said, "So to be able to see a person in an area that's predominantly Asian American is very important." Chinatown is also very split in terms of politics. At times, the area was split among 4 wards, 4 state representative districts, and 3 state senate districts, and also 3 congregational districts at its peak, making it difficult for the community to advocate for their demands and also for people to get along and get what they want. Politically, Chinatown's just not very stable, and it's kind of very sad. Also, one of the bigger development challenges that Chinatown is facing is the 78 development. In the north of Chinatown, developers are building the 78. It's a residential compound so large that developers tout it as Chicago's unofficial 78th neighborhood. The big concern with this is increased rent, property taxes, and displacement of residents and businesses. The really scary part about this is people don't know what they're going to lose until the city makes its choice, meaning many people can end up homeless or lose their whole livelihood because of these developments. The developments include high-rises, residential towers, office buildings, and even a river walk to the north of Chinatown. This is a $7 billion development that could either make or break Chinatown. Basically, what they want to do is they want to build all these like insane high-rises like Chicago has already over like some of the smaller structures in Chinatown.
Next are the non-profit organizations in Chinatown. The first one is the Pua-Tuk Center. It was established by the Chinese Christian Union Church to be a witness to Chinese in Chicago through educational, family, and community services. It also has many programs in which help the community. Some include, but are not limited to, ESL classes, citizenship preparation, as well as family support initiatives. The center promotes communal flourishing by addressing the key concerns within the Chinese immigrant community in Chicago. As said, the center provides ESL classes. Many of the immigrants coming from China are concerned about how they will be able to communicate. So the center helps them overcome the language barriers as well as empowers them to navigate their daily life in Chicago. Another way that the center promotes communal flourishing is by offering community and social support. This includes job training, cultural programs, and then these services address the challenges many immigrants face when adjusting to a new environment. The center is also an asset to the community by providing essential services that support immigrants and their families in their transition to the United States. This has all been done while providing educational, social, and faith-based initiatives. The next one is Project Vision. So Project Vision is a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering youth from underserved communities through educational, personal development, and mentorship. It also provides a safe and supportive space for students to grow academically. Project Vision promotes communal flourishing by addressing the key concerns of the community. They provide many programs for students of any age. Some include free after school tutoring, leadership training, scholarship assistance, and service learning opportunities. Many concerns come from a place to protect the children in the community in the neighborhood. So Project Vision does just that when addressing economic and social barriers. It's also an asset to community, providing critical educational support and leadership development. They also encourage the community to work together through a shared vision of growth and a brighter future for the students, but for not just for the students, but for everyone within the community. And then the last one, this is the Pingtan Memorial Park. It's a 17.44 acre site that was originally a Chicago and Western Indian Railroad yard located along the edge of south brink of the Chicago River. The boathouse includes a public dock that is available for use by non-motorized boats during park hours. The park promotes communal flourishing by providing a welcoming space for recreation, cultural engagement, and social connection in Chicago's Chinatown. The park addresses key concerns related to public health, community gathering spaces, and cultural identity in the neighborhood. The park is an asset to the community because it provides freedom within nature that some might need after a long day. It also helps by improving air quality, providing shade, and creating a more sustainable urban enjoyment along the Chicago River. And then these are our references, and that's it.